The forest was quiet, too quiet. Jack crouched behind a thick tree, watching the clearing where he had set the trap. The planet was wild, full of strange animals, some with claws, others with eyes that glowed in the dark. But Jack had learned. To survive, he hunted, he built, and he waited. And tonight, he was waiting for something to fall into his net. Something with meat and maybe fur. Dinner. The sound came fast snap. Then a loud cry, high-pitched, not like any creature he had heard before. Jack stood up quickly, pulling his old rifle from his back. He ran toward the sound, boots crunching over alien grass, heart beating fast. As he stepped into the clearing, his eyes widened. It was not a beast, it was a girl. She was caught in the net, hanging upside down from a thick branch. Her skin shimmered like moonlight, soft blue and glowing slightly. Her hair floated like it had no weight, and her eyes big and golden were full of fear. She struggled, arms tied, legs tangled, her voice trembling. "Please, ... Don't eat me," she whispered in broken English. I warm, but small. Please no cook." Jack stared at her, speechless. She looked young, maybe his age or younger, but definitely not human. An alien, a real alien. What the hell? Jack muttered, lowering his rifle slowly. He walked closer, hands up, trying not to scare her more. "I'm not going to eat you," he said. "You single quotes read ... alive, thinking, talking." She flinched as he reached for the rope. "Stay still," he said calmly. "Let me get you down." It took him a minute to cut the rope gently, as she fell softly into his arms. She was light, too light for her size. He set her down and stepped back. She crawled backward, shaking, eyes locked on his. "Every move, not eat," she repeated. "Not human food." Jack sat down on a rock, dropping his rifle beside him. "I don't eat people," he said, sighing. "Especially not scared blue ones." She blinked, confused, then looked at her hands, as if checking if they were still there. "You ... no hunter?" she asked. "No," Jack said. "I'm just trying to survive." He looked at her again, this time more carefully. She wore a strange suit, half armor, half fabric, with soft glowing patterns that moved like light in water. One of her arms was scratched, bleeding a silvery fluid. Jack stood and opened his pack, pulling out a first aid kit. "Let me help you," he said, stepping closer. She hesitated, then nodded once, slowly. As he cleaned the wound, she winced but didn't pull away. "What's your name?" Jack asked gently. She didn't answer for a moment. Then she whispered, "Allah." "All right, Allah," Jack said. "I'm Jack." He guided her to a small camp nearby, a circle of rocks, a tarp overhead, and a fire already burning. She sat close to the heat, holding her arms around herself. Jack handed her a bottle of water, and she stared at it like it was treasure. "Safe?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "Just water." She drank slowly, carefully, like someone who had never seen clean water before. Then she looked up, her golden eyes soft. "You kind human," Jack chuckled. "I try." They sat in silence for a while, the fire crackling, shadows dancing around them. Jack watched her, still unsure if this was real. An alien girl, glowing faintly, caught in his trap, as she thought he was going to eat her. How did she even learn English? He had so many questions, but she looked tired, too scared to speak more. She leaned against a log and closed her eyes, still shaking a little. Jack threw an extra blanket over her and sat on the other side of the fire. He looked up at the stars. Something told him this night had changed everything. She wasn't just a visitor, she was running, hiding, and terrified. And now, she was in his care. What was chasing her? And why did she think humans were monsters? Jack didn't sleep that night. He kept the fire going and his rifle loaded, because deep inside, he knew something was coming. Jack watched the alien girl sleep, her small frame curled up under the blanket like a frightened animal. She didn't snore, didn't move, barely even breathed. The fire cracked quietly, but Jack couldn't relax. He had questions, too many questions, but most of all, He had a gut feeling this girl wasn't just lost. She was being hunted. Morning came slowly, with a pale yellow sky and birds that sang in strange tones. Jack stirred the fire and boiled water for food. As he worked, he glanced at the girl, wondering if she'd run the moment she woke up. But she didn't. Her golden eyes opened slowly, scanning the trees, then locking on Jack. She didn't scream, didn't beg this time, just stared. Cautious but curious, Jack held up a metal cup of hot broth. Food, he said. Safe, not meat. Just roots and herbs. She sat up slowly, took the cup with both hands, and sniffed it. Then carefully, she sipped. Hot, she whispered, surprised. Jack smiled. Yeah, warms you up. They sat in silence for a while, the steam rising between them. Then Jack decided to try again. You said your name is Ale. She nodded slowly. Where are you from? He asked, gently. And how do you speak English? She looked down at the glowing lines on her suit, then tapped a small crystal on her neck. The crystal blinked, and suddenly her words came out smoother, clearer. My voice translator is working now, she said softly. It was damaged before. Jack blinked, surprised. That's impressive, he said. So you've met humans before? No, she said. We watched, from orbit. From shadows. We studied, Jack frowned. Then why did you think I'd eat you? Ali looked away, ashamed. Because that's what the stories say, she whispered. Your kind eats others for fun. For power, Jack laughed, shaking his head. Who told you that? That's nonsense. To us it's not, Alice said, her voice trembling. I wasn't supposed to meet a human. Ever. Jack leaned forward, his face serious now. Then why are you here? Alla hesitated, her fingers gripping the cup tightly. I ran away, she said finally. From my people. From my role. What role? Jack asked. She looked him in the eye, her golden gaze strong but sad. I'm not just anyone, she said. I'm part of the royal family. My father is a high lord of the Velari Empire. Jack froze. He'd heard of the Velari in old transmissions, mysterious, powerful, silent observers of the galaxy. If they were watching Earth, they never made contact. Until now, apparently, you're royalty? Jack said, stunned. Alla nodded. And that's why they'll come for me. Jack rubbed his chin, thinking. So, you escaped. And now they're hunting you. Yes, she said. They won't let me disappear. I carry something important. What is it? I can't say yet, she whispered. It's better if you don't know. Jack didn't like secrets, especially not ones that could get him killed. But he also didn't like the idea of handing her over to people who made her this afraid. You're safe here, he said. For now. Alice suddenly touched her collarbone, her eyes wide. Jack leaned forward. What is it? She looked up, terrified. My tracker, she said. It's still active. They know I'm here. Jack stood up fast, his survival instincts kicking in. How does it work? He asked. It's deep inside me, Alice said. Part of my body. I thought it was off. I was wrong. Jack cursed under his breath, grabbed his gear, and checked the surroundings. If they're tracking you, they'll be here soon, he said. She nodded, trembling. They always find me. Always. Jack walked over to her, held out his hand. Then let's make it harder this time. Alla hesitated, then took his hand. Together, they packed what little they had and moved deeper into the forest, away from the trap, away from the fire. But as they walked, Alla whispered something that sent chills down Jack's spine. There's something else you should know, she said. If they find me, they won't just take me back. Jack looked at her, puzzled. They'll kill anyone who helped me, she said, her eyes full of regret. That means you, Jack. He didn't reply, just tightened his grip on the knife at his belt and kept walking. If they were coming, they'd better be ready, because this wasn't just a rescue anymore, it was war. The rain fell soft and steady, hiding the sound of their footsteps. Jack moved quickly through the thick trees, cutting branches and vines as they went deeper into the alien jungle. Alla followed close behind, her silver blue eyes wide and alert. Every few seconds, she would glance over her shoulder, as if something was breathing on her neck. She knew they were coming. Jack didn't need proof anymore. He could see the fear written on her face. They stopped near a large rock wall, hidden behind moss and glowing mushrooms. "This way," Jack said, pulling back a curtain of vines. Behind it was a narrow cave, dry, dark, and just big enough to hide in. Alla stepped inside first, then Jack followed, covering the entrance behind them. Inside the cave, Jack lit a small lamp using his solar battery. The weak light bounced off the walls, showing strange claw marks and old symbols carved into the stone. But they weren't here for history. They were here to disappear. Alla sat on the cold ground, her breathing fast. Jack knelt beside her, looking serious. "You need to tell me everything now," he said. "This isn't just a game of hide and seek." She hesitated, then slowly reached toward her collarbone. Under the edge of her armor, something faint. Pulsed red light, dim but steady. "It's still on," she said softly. "The tracker. I thought I disabled it, but it's still active." Jack leaned closer, studying the light. It was embedded under her skin like a crystal, glowing with each beat of her heart. "Can we cut it out?" he asked. Alla shook her head. "It's bio-linked. If removed the wrong way, it sends a distress signal." "Of course it does," Jack muttered, frustrated. He reached into his bag, pulling out a scanner from his old survival kit. It was designed to check for toxins, but he had reprogrammed it to detect tech signals too. The screen lit up and there it was, a low-frequency ping, pulsing every 5 seconds. "Whoever's listening." "They're already coming," Jack said. Ailey looked down, ashamed. "I didn't mean to bring danger to you," she whispered. Jack sighed. "You didn't bring danger, Ella. It was already chasing you." She smiled weakly at that, but her eyes remained haunted. After a long pause, Jack finally said, "We need to kill the signal, not remove the tracker." Ella looked confused. Jack explained, "We build a fake loop. Something that repeats the signal, but makes it look like you're somewhere else." She blinked, then nodded slowly. "You can do that?" "I can try," Jack said, already pulling out wires, batteries, and spare chips from his gear. As Jack worked, Alla watched him with quiet amazement. "You're different from what we were taught," she said. Jack didn't look up, just kept twisting wires. "How so?" "You fix things. You care. And you don't treat me like a tool or a threat," she said, voice soft. "You're human, but you're kind." Jack chuckled. "Most of us are. You just got bad intel." Suddenly the scanner beeped again, louder this time. Jack froze, looking at the display. "Something's close," he said, standing fast. "A ship, maybe a drone." About 2 kilometers west. Alice stood too, panic flashing in her eyes. "They're here," she whispered. "They found me." "No, not yet," Jack said, thinking quickly. "We still have time." He connected the final wire, then stuffed the device into a fake pack, one of his old gear bags. "We plant this far from here," he said. "When they chase the signal, we run the other way." Elaine nodded, her hands shaking. "I'll help," she said. "I'm not useless." Together, they left the cave, sticking close to shadows and thick trees. Jack found a cliff edge with a deep ravine below. He placed the fake pack near a ledge, activating the signal repeater. Ayla stared into the dark sky above them. "I wish I had wings," she said, "so I could fly far from all this." Jack looked at her and smiled gently. "You don't need wings," he said. "You just need hope." As they turned to leave, Alla paused. "Jack," she said, "I think I know what ship they'll send next." Jack raised an eyebrow. "My family's shadow drone," she whispered, silent, fast. "No mercy." Jack sighed deeply. "Well," he said, tightening his grip on his knife, "then we better not be here when it arrives." Behind them, the fake tracker kept blinking, a trap for the hunters. just like the one that started it all, the forest. Held its breath. Jack and Alla moved quickly beneath the trees, away from the fake signal. Every sound made Alla jump, every branch crack felt like a warning. Jack led her to an old broken bunker half buried in the hillside. A leftover ruin from a forgotten war. It wasn't perfect, but it was cover. Inside, dust hung in the air, and broken metal walls hummed with faint power. Alla ran her hand along the surface, her eyes glowing softly. This place. It's not human tech, she whispered. Jack paused, surprised. You recognize it? It's older than my people, she said. Dead world technology. Jack didn't understand much of that, but if it kept them hidden, it was good enough. He checked the scanner again, nothing nearby, just static, but his gut said it wouldn't. Stay quiet for long. Alla sat in the corner, pulling her knees to her chest. Jack sat across from her, watching carefully. You okay? He asked. She shook her head slowly. They'll send a drone next, she whispered. One that doesn't ask questions. Jack leaned back, arms crossed. What do they want from you, Alla? She hesitated, then looked up at him. My blood, she said. My mind. My genes. They say I carry the first strand, the purest bloodline. Jack blinked. That sounds creepy. It is, she said. They want to keep it perfect. Use it to control others. To extend their own lives. Jack rubbed his face, feeling the weight of her words. So you ran. I didn't want to become a tool, she said, voice shaking. They said it was an honor. I felt like a prisoner. Jack nodded, his voice calm. You did the right thing. Before she could answer, the bunker lights flickered once, then twice. Jack froze, reaching for his rifle. Alla stood, eyes wide. They found us, she whispered. A sound hit the outside wall like wind, silent but heavy. Then the air changed, like the forest itself was holding back a scream. Jack ran to the entrance and peeked out. Nothing, but the scanner in his hand beeped wildly. Red lights dancing. A shape moved slow, floating just above the ground. It was the drone, black as night. With no lights and no sound, Alla grabbed Jack's arm. That's it. The shadow drone. Jack cursed, backing away from the entrance. We can't fight that thing, he said. Then we hide, Alla said, already pulling him deeper into the bunker. The drone scanned the outside, then fired a tiny needle into the doorframe. A blue light spread like liquid over the wall, an alien scan pattern. Inside, Jack and Alla hid behind a collapsed metal beam, barely breathing. The wall began to glow, then melted in silence. The drone entered slowly, its sensors scanning left and right. Jack held his breath, finger on the trigger, but he knew it wouldn't help. This drone was built to hunt beings far stronger than him. Alla suddenly stood up, surprising Jack. What are you doing? He whispered harshly. I'll distract it, she said calmly. You run. No way, Jack said, grabbing her wrist. We stay together. The drone locked onto them. A red triangle appearing on its head. Unauthorized life form detected. It said in a deep mechanical voice. Alla stepped forward, raising her hands. I am Elarin Valari, she said, daughter of House Valari. I command you to stand down. The drone paused for just 1 second, then aimed its weapon. Command invalid. Royal authority removed. Target classified as rogue. Jack fired, even knowing it wouldn't work. The bullet bounced off the drone's armor like a pebble. It fired back, but Jack rolled behind cover, dragging Alla with him. The fight was short, brutal, and silent. But Jack wasn't just brave, he was clever. He threw his last E-made grenade at the ceiling supports above the drone. The blast was small, but the ceiling was weak. Rocks and metal beams collapsed on top of the drone. Its weapon fired one last time, missing Jack's head by inches. Then everything went still. Dust filled the bunker, and Alla coughed, her hand covering her face. Jack lay on the ground, breathing hard. They both stared at the pile of debris where the drone was buried. You killed it, Alla whispered, amazed. Jack shook his head. No, I slowed it down. A faint red light still blinked from beneath the rubble. We have to move. Now, Jack said, pulling Alla to her feet. She looked at him differently, now not as a strange human, but as a protector. You didn't run, she said. I don't leave friends behind, Jack replied. They exited the bunker, hearts racing, lungs burning, and as they disappeared into the forest again, the stars above flickered. More would come, stronger ones. But Alla had learned something new. Humans didn't just survive, they fought back, and she wasn't alone anymore. The smoke from the collapsed bunker still drifted into the sky like a signal. Jack and Alla ran through the trees, lungs tight, feet heavy. They didn't speak. There was no time, but deep inside, both of them knew the drone was just the beginning. By the time they stopped, they were standing on a narrow cliff above a river that shimmered with green light. Below them, the jungle stretched for miles. The sky had changed, no longer calm. 3 dark shapes hovered above the clouds, moving slow and deadly. They've sent the hunter teams, Alla whispered, voice shaking. Elite warriors. Not machines. Not drones. Jack stared at the ships, heart pounding. How many? 3 teams, usually 2 warriors each, Alla replied. They don't miss. They don't ask questions. Jack looked at the thick forest behind them, then at the open river below. We can't outrun them, he said. Not forever. No, Alla said, but we can make them bleed, for the first time since. They met. Her voice held fire. She stood tall, her eyes glowing brighter. Jack watched her, surprised. You ready to fight your own people? I stopped being one of them the moment I chose freedom, she said. They moved fast. Working as a team, Jack laid trap tripwires, noisemakers, camouflaged spikes, and smoke bombs from old gear. Alla used her suit's light field to bend color, hiding tools in plain sight. By nightfall, they had turned a small valley into a maze of traps and confusion. Then they waited, and the hunters came. The first sign was silence. The bugs stopped buzzing. The wind froze. Even the river sounded distant. Then a flash, a blur of motion passed through the trees, nearly invisible. Jack didn't see it, but Alla did. Left side. She shouted, pushing Jack down. A plasma dart hit the tree behind them, burning a hole clean through. Jack rolled behind a rock, rifle up, finger ready. Alla stepped forward, her suit glowing faintly now. A sign of power building. 2 alien hunters entered the clearing, tall, armored, their weapons shaped like claws. They moved without sound, masks hiding their faces, but their posture was clear. They saw Jack as prey. The lead hunter raised his weapon, but stepped directly into a trap. A cable snapped upward, throwing him into a spike trap Jack had hidden beneath leaves. The second hunter growled and turned, but Alla moved faster. She released a sonic pulse from her hands, a scream that bent the air itself. The hunter stumbled, dazed, and Jack took the shot. The bullet cracked his visor, but didn't kill him. He's stunned. Jack yelled. Alla ran forward and slammed her hand on the hunter's chest. Her suit flared with energy, and the hunter collapsed with a gasp. Silence again. 2 down, 4 to go. They'll be angrier now, Alla said. They'll adapt. Let them, Jack replied. We've got more tricks. They moved deeper into the jungle as the next team dropped from above. This time, the hunters didn't make noise. They used cloaks like shadows, blinking in and out of sight. One of them appeared right behind Jack, but Alla threw herself at the attacker. She wasn't strong, but her suit helped. She hit hard, using gravity boosters to send the hunter flying into a tree. Jack turned and fired again, his bullets tearing into the weak spot at the hunter's side. He fell with a sharp metallic screech. The final hunter was smarter, faster. He didn't attack directly. Instead, he watched, moving from tree to tree, studying Jack and Alla, waiting for the right moment. That moment came too fast. He jumped from above, landing between them, knocking Jack to the ground. His blade came down, but Alla caught it with her bare hands. Her suit sparked, resisting the energy. The hunter stared at her in disbelief. You are unworthy, he said in his own tongue. I am free, Alla replied, and then her forehead glowed, releasing a shockwave of light. The hunters screamed, blinded, and Jack fired one final shot, this one hitting the mark. The last of the hunter teams fell. Smoke rising from their armor, Jack sat down, chest heaving, arms shaking. Alla knelt beside him, her hand on his shoulder. You were ready to die for me, she said quietly. Wasn't planning on it, Jack said with a smirk, but I'd do it again. She looked at him for a long moment, then said something he didn't expect. I think I trust you more than anyone now. Jack raised an eyebrow. That's either really sweet or really sad, she laughed, the sound light and full of life above them. The enemy ships began to move away, confused by the silence. The hunters hadn't reported back, and the galaxy was starting to notice something dangerous, that a human and a runaway alien girl had just defeated the best of the best. Asterisk, the fires were out, the bodies were gone, and the forest had fallen quiet again. But something had changed, not just in the jungle, but in Jack and Alla too. They had survived, they had fought, and they had won. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt like the calm before something bigger. They found shelter in ancient ruins, half buried deep under moss and stone. The walls were smooth, covered in symbols older than Ila's empire. When she touched them, the markings lit up slowly, soft green light flowing across the stone like veins. This place, Alla whispered. It's forbidden, even to us. Jack looked around, confused. Why? Looks like a good hiding spot to me. Because it was made by the ancients, Alla said. A civilization older than the stars. We don't even know who they were. They made camp inside the ruins, under the central dome. Jack built a small fire while Alla stood silently, staring at the glowing walls. You okay? He asked, watching her carefully. I don't know, she said quietly. Everything I knew is gone. Jack didn't answer right away. He knew that feeling. He had felt the same the day his crew died in a crash on this planet. The day he became the last human here. The day he learned survival doesn't mean peace. You still have me, Jack said. Alla looked at him, eyes wide and glassy. Yes, she said. And that's why I have to tell you the truth now. Jack put down the stick he was sharpening and leaned forward. Okay, I'm listening. She sat across from him, her hands folded tightly. When I said they wanted my genes, it wasn't the full truth, she said. Jack didn't speak, just nodded once, urging her to continue. My body is not just royal, she said. It's a key genetically coded to activate something deep within the old empire's vaults. What kind of vaults? Jack asked. Alla pointed to the glowing floor beneath them. Places like this, she whispered. The ancients left technology behind too dangerous to open. My blood can unlock it. Jack leaned back, whistling. So, you're not just a princess, he said. You're a living password. Alla smiled faintly. Yes, and if they catch me, they'll use me to open every vault and take control of everything. Jack stood up and paced. This is more than I thought, he said. We're not just hiding from a family. We're stopping an empire. Alla nodded slowly. That's why I need to make a choice now, she said, standing too. I can't keep running forever. I have to destroy what's inside me. Or use it. Jack stopped walking. Wait, destroy it? He asked. Is that even possible? There's a way, she said. The ruins have machines, ancient ones. They can rewrite DNA, erase the code, but if you do that, your people will stop chasing you. Yes, Alla said, because I'll be useless to them. And if you don't do it? Jack asked. Then I could use it to unlock the vaults before they do. Aaliyah said, her voice stronger now. And give that power to someone better, someone like humanity. Jack stared at her. Both choices were dangerous. Both could change everything. He sat down beside her, thoughtful. You don't have to decide now, he said. But whatever you choose, I'm with you. Alla looked at him with soft eyes. You keep saying that, she said, smiling. even when it puts you at risk. I don't care about the risk. Jack replied, I care about you. She reached out and touched his hand gently. You're the first person who ever gave me a choice, she whispered. That night, as they slept inside the ruins, the floor beneath them lit up on its own. A soft hum filled the chamber, ancient and deep. And somewhere far above, in the dark of space, something old awakened. The ruins began to hum. The sound was deep, ancient, like the heartbeat of something that had slept for 1,000 years. Jack opened his eyes and looked around. Everything was glowing. Walls, floor, even the air shimmered with strange light. And Alice stood in the center of it all, her body glowing brighter than ever before. What's happening? Jack asked, climbing to his feet. I didn't do anything, Alice said, voice shaking. The ruins. They woke up on their own. The ancient symbols carved into the stone lit up one by one, forming a circle around her. Then suddenly a voice filled the chamber, old but clear, not spoken with sound, but thought. Genetic key detected. Human. Presence confirmed. Initiating final protocol. Jack's heart stopped. Wait, human presence? He said out loud, looking at Ella. She turned to him, eyes wide. They recognized you, but I didn't do anything. Jack shouted, Ella. Shook her head, voice soft. No. You are the key too. Before Jack could ask what that meant, the center of the floor opened slowly, revealing a deep column of light. A holographic display shot upward showing stars, planets, ships, and a symbol that made Jack freeze. The flag of Earth. Earth's old military logo, long thought forgotten, flickered in the light above them. Project Watchtower active, the voice said. Monitoring status, compromised. Requesting connection to Earth Command. Jack took a step back, stunned. This place. It's ours, he whispered. These ruins aren't just alien. They're connected to Earth tech. Ela's eyes filled with wonder. Your people were here, long before mine. Suddenly, the light shifted and a new image appeared. A human face, older man, sharp eyes, wearing a sleek Earth Alliance uniform. The hologram blinked, and the man began to speak. Survivor detected. This is Admiral Royce of the Earth Defense Command. We've been tracking your signal for weeks. Jack's jaw dropped. You're alive? The hologram nodded. You activated an ancient Terran vault, buried before Earth's fall. We didn't expect a response until now. Jack looked at Ayla, who was still frozen in place. Her skin glowing with power. She helped me. I wouldn't have survived without her, he said quickly. The Admiral's image turned toward Alla. Alien genetic signature confirmed, he said slowly. Valari bloodline. Dangerous. Jack stepped in front of her without thinking. She's not dangerous, he said firmly. She chose to help me. She chose us. The Admiral's face remained calm. Very well, he said. Then she will be protected under Terran law. Before Jack could breathe in relief, alarms blared through the ruins. Red lights pulsed, and the hum grew louder. Alla turned to the ceiling, her voice sharp. They found us. Outside the ruins, in the sky above. Several massive Valari ships decloaked black and curved like blades. They hovered silently, blocking out the stars then. Beams of blue light shot down, preparing to breach the ruins. They're not here to talk, Jack said, grabbing his rifle. No, Alla said, her voice calm. They want the code in my blood. They'll destroy you to get it. Jack looked at the hologram of the Admiral. Can you help? He asked. The Admiral nodded. We already launched a Terran ship when your beacon went active. ETA, 60 seconds. Above. The clouds split apart like paper as a massive Terran warship dropped from orbit. Its cannons lit up the sky, targeting the Valari ships without mercy. The jungle shook as missiles streaked across the heavens. One Valari cruiser exploded in flames. Another peeled away, shields flickering. The balance of power had shifted. Ailey stared in shock. This is your people's strength? Jack nodded. Now you understand why they were afraid of us. Terran soldiers descended from the ship in armored drop pods, surrounding the ruins. One of them ran up to Jack and saluted. "Commander Jack Harlan?" "Just Jack," he said. "Confused, sir," the soldier said. "You've been promoted." "Earth needs leaders like you." Jack turned to Alla, who looked nervous as the troops scanned her. He held out his hand to her. "Come with me," he said. "They'll protect you now." She hesitated, then nodded, taking his hand tightly. As they stepped onto the landing pad, a reporter drone hovered nearby, broadcasting across space. For the first time, the galaxy saw it. A human and an alien, side by side, surviving together. Not as enemies, but as allies and far away, other. Species began to whisper, "Maybe the humans aren't monsters after all."